This channel is now affiliated with WAMPLER guitar pedals run by Brian WAMPLER. It's an online course that will teach you the do's and don'ts about creating great guitar tone. In this course you'll find out how pedals affect amps, how pedals affect amps differently, and how different guitars and pickups can also affect your guitar tone, while also learning how to use all of these great pedals into your digital modeler and DAW. You can click the affiliate link below and you can get yourselves 25% discount using the code Johnny25. Fuck off. Hey! Oh wait, something's not right. Hang on. Got to cover up the IHOP. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. My name's Johnny Lee. This is the home of HELIX stuff. Sometimes we do motorbikes. It depends, what the weather's doing, to be honest. And every now and then we'll dive in and do a little bit of fractal stuff. However, I have had to make a bit of a decision lately as to what direction I'm taking my tonal journey. For those of you that have been here for a while, I'm a bit of a hardcore HELIX user. Did I really say fractal then? I'm a hardcore HELIX user, and I have been since day one. When the HELIX first came out, I was one of the first people locally within my scene around where I live to jump on it, and it was just amazing. I do think right now that the HELIX is getting a little bit long in the tooth. We're running out of DSP. That is becoming problematic for some people, particularly if you're in some kind of really demanding tribute band, or if you're in a function band that requires you to have lots of different things going on within a patch. It can become a little bit problematic. So I'm going to give you the fors and against as what's led me to this decision, because both units are great. If you're in the market for buying one of these, then you should definitely eye up both of them, and I would suggest that if you can, try them both first, because you'll find something that kind of just resonates with you more than the other one. So in the FRACTAL FM9, I do think that the amps are way better than anything else that is out there. Lately they have just updated. FRACTAL has just put in the Stealth PV amps, and they are literally mind-blowing. They're just phenomenal at what they do. I mean, they've got it just perfect, absolutely perfect. So the amps within the FRACTAL are better than the ones that are in the HELIX. In the HELIX, the drive pedals are way better than the ones that are in the FRACTAL. FRACTAL drive pedals kind of all just sound the same to me. There's no real kind of defining difference, I don't think. It might be my old 50-odd-year-old ears. It could be that. But in the HELIX, if I have a tube screamer and I have a distortion pedal, and I can pretty much go, oh, there's definitely a difference there. But within the FRACTAL, I'm not getting the same kind of definition. Within the FRACTAL, the delays and the reverbs are, again, in my opinion, I just prefer them to the ones that are in the HELIX. Not that the HELIX kind of is crap at delay and reverb. It's just that there's far more of a choice within the FRACTAL, and every particular bass that you want to cover is covered, from it, screaming leads to ambient to country to whatever else. You can do that in the HELIX, but again, we're back on this DSP issue now. In the HELIX, the wahs are way better than the ones that are in the FRACTAL. I find the ones in the FRACTAL to be a bit kind of too screechy and a little bit overbearing. Yes, you can adjust them and go full deep parameters, which is another thing that the FRACTAL does do better than the HELIX. You've got basic editing, and then you can kind of really deep dive and get right into the nooks and crannies of the unit and get it set up how you want. But is that a good thing in today's climate? It's particularly if you're at a gig or you're doing a session somewhere, or you've just got to turn up and plug in and play. You don't really want to be having to deep dive into anything. You just want to see things that are in front of you, adjust it and get it, and away you go, start flying. The HELIX kind of wins at being able to do that. There's far more DSP within the FRACTAL as well. Obviously the dual amps and the high quality of the cabs and the high quality of the delays and reverbs is kind of really pushing HELIX to the back of the queue at the minute. So I do think that DSP in the future for Line 6 is a big thing that they've got to kind of take care of, because us guitar players, we're demanding. So all of this kind of makes me think, what is it that we're actually looking for? What's the end result? Because back in the olden days, fucking hell, am I a boomer? Back in the olden days, you would just have one amp or 2 amps if you were rich, a clean, a crunch, a lead, and a boost, and that was you set. Various pedals. You know, Helix came along and took away all of that and gave you snapshots so you can kind of seamlessly move through the whole preset and not have to worry about anything. All of your levels were nice and perfect. Everything was great and glorious. Fractal then have stepped up again and done gapless switching between presets, which again, that would be phenomenal within the Helix. If they can do that, even in this current form of Helix, which I think is unlikely because it probably takes up a shit ton more DSP, it would be great. It would be great if they could do that. I can't see it happening though. So what's the future for Helix? Nobody really knows. There's whispers here, there and everywhere. I do think that Line 6 are a very, very clever company in the sense of they're not stupid and they are well and truly paying attention to what is going on in the guitar community and looking at people like Fractal and Kemper and the size of units and DSP and being able to capture amps and stuff like that. Whether the next incarnation of Helix, if they call it that, it's highly unlikely that they will call it Helix. Again, I think they like to kind of move on. Will it have capture? Will it have a touchscreen? I don't know. Let me know in the comments and let me know what you think. So for all of the fors and against, I think that I've had to, for now, let go of the Fractal FM9 and stick with the Helix. And this is not based on, well, most of my YouTube content is Helix. It's just, it's 100% reliable. It gives me everything that I want it to do. Yes, it's got its faults in the sense of it is running short of DSP. This may get addressed in a future unit. It may get addressed in a future update. I don't know. But for now, I've kind of gone back to basics. My previous video of keeping your Helix presets simple did get me thinking, like I've just mentioned, what is it that we're after? Do we just consistently want more from our units? Are we just constantly more, I just need more of this, more of that, more? When realistically, for me, I've probably spent the best part of a week sitting on one patch, which is the Marshall 2204 that I had to, it's a patch I had to fix for a guitar student. And it's great. It's exactly where I need it to be. And I think for me, anyway, I'm going to stop preset building for myself. Stick with the 1, maybe 2 patches, possibly a 3rd for ambient and clean. And that'll do me. Because constantly not playing guitar and constantly tone chasing, preset building has kind of led me to this point where I've got to kind of stop playing with myself and play my instruments instead. So let me know where you are on your journey of tone. Are you still 100% Helix, or are you a convert and you've gone to Fractal and never looked back? What are your opinions on the sounds between the two of them? Do you agree or do you disagree with what I've said so far? And I'm not saying that my Fractal journey is over, because it's definitely not. I am thinking now that I'm, particularly in the studio, I'm going to go full rack systems. So I'm probably going to trade off my Helix floor and get a rack and do that instead, and then get the Fractal Axe 3 and do that as well. It'll just be tidier within the studio for what I'm doing, because I'm not gigging all of the time now, not as much. I'm probably at 60% gigs of where I used to be. So I do spend a considerable amount more time in the studio kind of recording and teaching and, you know, doing stuff for backing tracks and stuff like that. So anyway, thanks for popping along. I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a for and against if you're weighing up either one of these options. They're both great. It's just that right now the Fractal FM9 is not for me, but the Axe 3 might be. But I still love the Helix.